Hello everybody, Moarhammer here, and I've got another battle report for you. This is a 2,000 point battle, my Idoneth Deepkin against Beastclaw Raiders. So a pretty cool matchup, and a fairly low model count across the entire board, to be honest. But it should be a really good one. I'll jump straight into it. If you want to check out the army list, you can look in the video description below. Other than that, let's just get right on into it. So, here is a picture of deployment, and we're playing Scorched Earth, so from the General's Handbook 2017, where you can burn the 6 objectives, and you can burn them if you want, if you hold them at the end of your turn, or the end of any turn. And it's a very, very fast army I'm playing against, so I was a bit concerned how I was going to play it. I'll go through the armies. So on my side, starting on the far left, I've got my 6 Morrsarr Guard, and then 3 Ishlaen Guard in front of them, and then a Sorceress kind of in between. Just because if he got like fast turn 1, I didn't want him to just slam into me and take me all off, so the Ishlaen Guard with a shield. Then in the centre I've got my Waywatcher sitting in the ship, and then behind the ship I've got my Tidecaster, another 3 Ishlaen Guard, and my Eidolon of the Sea. Then moving further over left, I've got my Akhelian King, and then my 2 Allopex sitting there. So kind of basically I was holding it back a little bit off each objective, so I didn't have to be as far forward as I could be. I figured out that he couldn't get to the objective unless he charged me, so it was kind of here or there. So that's kind of my plan, was to kind of hopefully let him come to me, and then I could counterattack and do enough damage that he couldn't really recover. So on his side, starting on the far left, he's got 4 Mornfang cavalry. Then he's got a Huskard on Stonehorn. Moving further over left, in the centre, he's got a Stonehorn Beastrider unit, or 1 Stonehorn Beastrider. Then further on the far right, he's got another 4 Mournfang and 2 Giants, or Akhelian Gargant as they're called. So it's a very aggressive army. He's also got a Hunter in reserve, and he's going to be ambushing on at the back at some point. Worth mentioning also, he has the Jorlbad formation, which essentially allows all of his units to run and charge. So, a big part of my plan was to kind of let him come at me as fast as he would like, and then I was hoping I could drop my Heartrenders onto his objectives when they had nobody on them, that would allow me to cap them and then take them, because 1 unit of 5 Heartrenders outscores 4 Mournfang, so he was actually going to have a bit of a problem defending his objectives, but I felt like so was I. He's fast enough and aggressive enough that if he had a really good first couple of turns, he could outscore me by the end of the game. And if he can take off all my stuff, it should be. If I burn the objective with my Heartrenders, then I can't score them later. So it'll be a really interesting objective game, I think. So we'll see how that pans out. So, because he's got the battalion, he does finish deploying first, and he lets me go first, which I wasn't. I was a bit not sure about, actually. It was a tricky choice. I didn't want to go too far forward because I didn't want to take to get charged too easily, but I also didn't want to do nothing. So I wanted to protect some of my objectives. I wanted to make sure I could counterattack, but also kind of wanted to maybe try casting some spells at him. I wasn't too sure on that. So I kind of moved forward a little bit carefully, but all the while keeping as far away as I could. So the main thing was the Eidolon went forward to try and... He got Steed of Tides there by the Tidecaster. And then he was just within 18 inches of the Stonehorns, or the Stonehorn Beastriders on the right-hand side. So I cast some spells at that. Did a couple of wounds. Nothing major though. And then the movement phase, I moved my Ishlaen Guard in front of the Eidolon, so he couldn't charge directly into the Eidolon, so at least he'd be alive for a little bit. In the shooting phase, some of the Sharks take some pot shots along with the Waywatcher at the Mournfang. I do a couple of wounds to 1, which is not bad at all. Just picking off a couple of wounds is great. I think I do 4 wounds to 1 Mournfang. And then I'd also put a couple of extra shots into the Stonehorn and do another couple of wounds to that. So the Stonehorn's lost 4 wounds as well. So not a bad shout. It does knock it down a bracket, so it loses a bit of movement, loses a couple of attacks. So that's fine. I can totally live with that. So then we jump into his turn, and he comes at me pretty aggressively. Mournfang on the left and on the right are fairly comfortably within charge range of my army. He got the Everwinter thing where you get an extra move, so he pushed forward with that, 3 inches I think it was. He's got 10-inch move plus run, and then the Stonehorns themselves just come forward at a massive rate anyway. But he does leave one giant on an objective on the back right-hand side for some reason, but he does. He wanted to score some points, I guess. But he leaves the other 2 objectives unoccupied, which is good for me, which means that I could have a chance of taking them. In the shooting phase, not a lot happens. He basically had to shoot the Ishlaen Guard, and if anything hit, they bounce off the armour, so that was fine. Then he goes to the charge phase. Both Stonehorns slam into the Ishlaen Guard, but I believe all of his other charges fail. So at least there was that. That was nice. But the Stonehorn, they do impact hits, and so they do d6 mortal wounds on the charge, and they kill 2 Morrsarr Guard flat out with that and put another wound on another. And because that's the end of so that happens in the charge phase, we end up going to the combat phase, and I panicked completely because I was going to get attacked by one of these guys no matter what happened at this point, so I was very concerned that he would just take my Eidolon straight off. So I popped my Cloud of Midnight. I had to do it, otherwise I was fairly convinced I would die, so at least there's going to be a chance to get out of that sticky situation. Very sticky situation. So, yeah, so he puts all the attacks on the Ishlaen Guard and smashes it to pieces, unsurprisingly. And I'm left there looking a bit foolish. Fortunately, only one of his Stonehorns was in range of the objective, so he doesn't score it and he can't burn it, because that would have been a bit of a pain. And then obviously I got my Tidecaster in the ship as well, so that was cool. So, at least my Eidolon survives, but we go into the initiative roll. And it was a bit of a tight one, because if I won it, I was fine, I could get out of that situation. But if I lost it, I'm probably going to lose my Eidolon. And, I lose it. It's not good. So, he comes at me some more. Both his Stonehorns are in combat with the Eidolon, so that guy was probably going to get his head kicked in now. And on the left-hand side, the Mournfang move, and the right-hand side, the Mournfang move. Again, his giant at the back right kind of stays on the objectives just to score the points. And the other giant runs forward a little bit. So in the shooting phase, not a whole lot happens. He does fire some shots at the closest respective targets, but I don't think he does any damage. I think he just rolls absolutely pants with his hit rolls, which is absolutely fine by me. The Mournfang charged into the Ishlaen Guard. I did put Mystic Shield on these Ishlaen Guard in my first turn, so at least they were pretty well defended. So there was that. And then these Mournfang, they charge into the Allopex. And I was a bit concerned about this one. So he piles in, unsurprisingly, with his Stonehorn, his Huskard on Stonehorn first of all. And this is the fully healed one. And he smashes 10 wounds onto him, which was absolutely brutal. I do decide to go with my Eidolon next, because at least I could do some damage before I died. Onto the other Stonehorn, maybe make him bad enough that he gets less attacks and he fluffs his rolls. I was really grabbing at straws here. Oh, with the 10 wounds I took from the first one, I did pass 2 of them on the 6-up ship save. So if it wasn't for the ships being there, I would have died. So I put my attacks on my Eidolon on the other Stonehorn. I plink another 3 wounds off it, so it's got 7 on it. So it does knock it down another bracket or 2, so there was that at least. And then he attacks with his Mournfang. He manages to hack apart one entire shark and put 3 wounds onto another, which was absolutely brutal. I was not happy about that. So I piled with my Ishlaen Guard, and they actually don't do too badly. They actually kill they kill one of the Mournfang and put another couple of wounds onto another. So that was not bad at all. I was quite happy with that. Then he piles with his Stonehorn and he kills the Eidolon, which sucked. 440 points of debuff down the drain. Didn't even get a chance to get any debuffs off. It was very sad. Oh, I cried a little bit inside. So I piled with my sharks. Actually do pretty well. I kill one of the Mournfang and put 4 wounds into another. So I did actually roll out the box with it, which is great. They have a fair number of attacks each, so I was quite happy with that. Then he attacks over here with his Mournfang against my Ishlaen Guard, and 3 wounds managed to push through onto one of the Ishlaen Guard. So that's okay, I can live with that. Of all those attacks, only 3 wounds going through is absolutely fine. So, with that sad note, we go into my turn. And I do decide to drop in my Heartrenders because I really need to. Obviously this is turn 2, so this is Flood Tide, so I can run and charge. So my Akhelian King jumps all the way up to the middle of the board with the intent of charging the Beastriders. My Morrsarr Guard that are at the back comes speeding around to try and also help out take the Morrsarr Guard. I just really want to try and deal with those Stonehorns now because they have to go. My Canary Heartrenders, I drop 1 unit just in front of the boat in the middle, and then 1 on that bit of terrain piece on the left. The idea of when I dropped them is I wanted them just within 12 inches of respective targets, so with the ones on the left in 12 inches of the Mournfang, and ones on the right within 12 inches of one of the Stonehorns, so they would still be able to claim the objective in the end of the turn. So it was just within 3, or at least one model was just within 3, and the rest could shoot as possible. They also do get like a 6-inch move after they shoot, but I couldn't really rely on that. You only get it on a 4-up, so I didn't want to rely on that so I just needed to score objectives and get ahead on the victory points as soon as possible because I was not feeling comfortable where I was. So, shooting phase, my Ishlaen Guard, my Allopex, my Waywatcher, and my Canary Heartrenders all take pot shots at the wounded Stonehorn, so the Beastrider in the middle rather than the Huskard, and they bring him down, which was fantastic. Because they're all damage 1 weapons in shooting, it doesn't really make a difference whether or not it's got stone skeleton. It halves damage, so it's damage 1 still. So yeah, it's 4-up save. There's lots of Rend 1 shooting there. All of the Heartrenders, they're like -2 when they drop down, and the Waywatcher's -1. So I shoot off that thing, which is fantastic to have that out of the way. I think I need to put another wound on. I think the other Heartrenders don't really do anything to the Mournfang though. So go to the charge phase, and boom! I charge all of my Morrsarr Guard and the Akhelian King into this Stonehorn. He's at full health at the moment. Oh, I think the Stonehorn also has Riptide cast on him. I think I cast Riptide in the hero phase. So he's -1 to hit, which makes me feel a lot better about it. But yeah, all the Morrsarr Guard and the Akhelian King slam into the Stonehorn, so fingers crossed it could bring him down. They damage 2 weapons, which obviously goes down to 1, but I was hoping there would still be enough damage output to get rid of him, especially with the Rend 2. So I do decide to... I decided to go with my Ishlaen Guard first, and the reason for that, rather than the Stonehorn, was I really wanted to get rid of the Mournfang before they actually hacked my Ishlaen Guard apart, because there was a bit of a tight fight here for the objective. If he just killed 1 Ishlaen Guard, then he could claim the objective and score it and get rid of it and burn it, so I didn't want that to happen. So I do attack here first, kill a Mournfang, which is great, and then he decides to attack with his Stonehorn against my Akhelian King, and he does absolutely nothing, which is absolutely typical. He's got the -1 to hit, which means his combat attacks don't really do anything anyway. Then there's the damage 3 horns, they hit on 5s, so they just don't do much, and then he just rolls like a 1 for the number of d6 attacks. The damage on the Stonehorn here, the 6 damage, that was from the Biovoltic Blasts from the Morrsarr Guard. Do that in the end of the charge phase, or the start of the combat phase. So I did that and put 6 mortal wounds onto him, so he was also a bit damaged from that, so that was not good for him. But yeah, so typically the Stonehorn does nothing to the Akhelian King, which is fantastic. Then I attack over here with my Allopex, and I do a couple of wounds to another Mournfang, I think 2 wounds, and I bring another one down. So they are slowly disappearing, which is great. When he attacks back with his Mournfang, he does put 4 wounds onto an Allopex, so it's hanging on by a thread. Then over here, bring it down. So pleased with this. The Morrsarr Guard absolutely destroy the Mournfang. The Stonehorn. I think I did like 13, 14 wounds to it, even with the half damage, including all like the bites and the tails and stuff. So really, really good. These guys just do so much damage. They're amazing. I love these guys. Then we go over here. His Mournfang attack, and they do kill one of the Ishlaen Guard, so that was a bit sad. But fortunately, I don't think he still wouldn't be able to claim the objective, so that was ideal. At the end of the turn, my Canary Heartrenders, they jump back onto the objective and they burn it, and this unit also jumps back onto the objective and burns it. I get a 4-up for both of them, so they both run away and they both burn the objective, so that's fantastic. So not only have I managed to get rid of the Stonehorns, I've burnt both his home objectives, putting me on something like 8 points to his 2 or 3. So absolutely fantastic. So we go into the initiative roll, and he wins it. And you know what? That's absolutely fine. I'm feeling, after that turn, I'm feeling way more comfortable. I'm ahead on objectives, and I've got lots of stuff I can still do. Not to mention that we're going into turn 3, which is High Tide. Yes. So he brings on his hunter at the back of the board. So right in the centre, sort of 6 inches on, you can see his hunter's just walked on. And his giant on the right-hand side kind of moves onto the objective, but there's not really a whole lot of other movement he does. He's just kind of figuring out how to score points now. And his giant on the back just stays where he is because he doesn't need to do anything else. In the combat phase, which we go straight into, because he's got no shooting left, apart from a couple of pistols, but he doesn't do anything with them. Thankfully, because of High Tide, my shark manages to kill another one of the Mournfang, which is fantastic. And then my Ishlaen Guard managed to kill another one of these Mournfangs and put 5 wounds onto another, so I nearly finish off that guy too. So that was ideal. But then when we go back to his attacks, he does kill the Allopex, which is very sad because I don't like it when my shark dies. And over here he piles him with his Mournfang and he kills another Ishlaen Guard. So that combat's been pretty brutal overall. Then we go into my turn. And it's kind of now, it's a bit, I just need to finish him off. The hunter that came on is now looking very, very sad. I cast Riptide on him, so he's -1 to hit. And I charge my Morrsarr Guard at him, so fingers crossed they can do the job. My Akhelian King, that was on the centre, runs off towards the giant on the top right, just trying to help try and deal with him, because if I can charge in, do a decent enough amount of damage, I should be able to kill him. His giant on the bottom right did burn the objective. Doesn't matter. At this point, it just doesn't matter. So but that happened anyway, so that was good. And then I do cast, I think I cast Arcane Bolt from the Sorceress to shoot off that last Mournfang. The Waywatcher Lord and the Heartrenders managed to put 4 wounds onto this guy, so doing a decent amount of damage to him. And then I charge in with my Morrsarr Guard into the Hunter, and I completely obliterate him. He didn't do well. he just died. And then, wouldn't you know it, in the combat phase, my Waywatcher Lord managed to kill the Mournfang, which is glorious. Very, very good show by him. So yeah, I was happy about that. That was really, really cool. So there you have it. Oh, yeah, my Akhelian King obviously failed his charge against the giant, but that's okay. Don't need to worry about that. That is the end of the game. There was nothing left he could do after a tragic turn for me and a very, very strong start from him. I fortunately managed to outlast him, and then I managed to deal with his stuff. The Ishlaen Guard that held up the Morrsarr Guard did such a good job of it. They're so difficult to get through with the low number of attacks. And then the Morrsarr Guard and the Akhelian King counterpunch. There's that just one turn where he lost everything. Basically, was what did it. So it was really, really good. I think he found that he just couldn't chew through my units fast enough. Even though Mournfang have damaged 3, they've only got 2 attacks apiece. So I had enough wounds here and there, and was doing enough damage that he could not catch up with me. And because I was just flat out faster than him and he couldn't get through me, he couldn't get the objectives. But then again, that being said, it was entirely won by the Heartrenders. I think them just dropping on the objective was invaluable in this game, so I was very happy about that. But I think that's just about it. Thanks very much for watching. If you like the battle report, let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section below, and give the video a thumbs up thingy. That always helps me out. So thanks very much for that. And if you want to see how the progress of my Deepkin is going, you can see me on Twitter at Moarhammer88. Sorry, at Moarhammer, or Instagram at Moarhammer88. So they're the 2 places you can find me. And if you want to drop me an email, you can shoot one over at morewargames@gmail.com. So Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for another battle report.